Welcome to the deep dive. We dig through stacks of fascinating sources to pull out the real nuggets of knowledge for you. Basically a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed.
That's the idea. And today, we've got something quite special documents about a very early, thrilling adventure of a mind that, well, everyone knows now, Sherlock Holmes, but as a teenager.
Right, a young Sherlock. We're looking at excerpts about him, 14 years old, suddenly thrown out of his usual life and right into this pretty dark mystery.
Exactly. It's a period of huge change for him. In this case, really tests those budding deductive skills against, frankly, a diabolical plot. It's a look at the foundation being laid.
So our mission here is to unpack this whole story, trace the surprising connections he makes and pull out the insights he uncovers. It's got intrigue, danger.
And some culprits you really wouldn't expect.
Definitely. So let's get into it. The very first case, maybe, of a young Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so picture this. Farnham, 1860s, a bustling market town. You've got the cobbled streets, old timber buildings.
And the smells, right? Baking bread, roasting meat, but also, horses. Less pleasant things. It's immersive.
And into this world steps Matthew Arnott Matty. He's 14, street smart, just trying to scrape by, find food.
And Matty's important because he sees something. Well, deeply weird. He calls it a cloud of death.
A cloud of death? What does that even look like?
He describes this dark stain, maybe dog-sized, drifting out of a first-floor window, but it moves strangely, sideways almost, over a roof, and then disappears, followed by a scream.
Okay, that's unsettling. Sets a very ominous tone right away.
It really does. It hints at something unseen, deadly, the kind of thing most people might ignore, but it sticks.
And then enter Sherlock. He's just finished term at Deep Dean's School for Boys. Not exactly a nurturing place, apparently. They call students oh boy or child.
Very impersonal. And his summer plans just get completely upended.
How so?
His older brother, Mycroft, already working for the government, the Foreign Office shows up with bad news.
Mycroft, always the bearer of serious tidings.
Oh, it seems like it. Their father, who's in the military, is being sent to India for 9 months. And the reason is interesting: unrest within the British Army itself.
Not the usual story, then.
No, the source says it's like a mutiny inside the British Army because the soldiers found the new regime stricter. Plus, their mother is too ill to look after Sherlock.
So where does he go?
He gets packed off to Farnham to live with the estranged Uncle Sharonford and Aunt Anna. There's been some kind of falling out in the family.
Estranged relatives. That adds another layer. Gives us a peek into maybe a less than perfect Holmes family life, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It hints at background tensions, secrets maybe, which is quite fascinating for the Holmes legend.
You can sort of feel his disappointment. He thinks Farnham is going to be worse than school.
And when he gets there, to Holmes' manor, it's not exactly welcoming. His Aunt Anna just murmurs constantly. Uncle Sharonford reads pamphlets. He's pretty much ignored.
And there's the housekeeper, too.
Yes, Mrs. Eglantine. Mycroft specifically warns Sherlock that she's no friend to the Holmes family. So, suspicion right from the start.
So he's stuck in this lonely room, hearing owls and foxes.
Yeah.
You can see how his mind might turn inwards, or outwards, I guess, focusing on observation just to cope.
That's a really good point. That isolation, that lack of normal interaction, could actually be what sharpens his focus on the details around him. It becomes his main engagement.
But he's not totally alone for long. He meets Matty Arnott soon after.
Right, the boy who saw the cloud. Matty's fascinating and lives on a narrow boat with his horse, Albert. Lost his parents, works odd jobs, completely self-reliant.
Talk about a contrast to Sherlock's background, even with the current disruption.
Exactly. They're like two sides of a coin. Sherlock's intellectual world, Matty's street knowledge, and they sort of need each other.
And around this time, Mycroft arranges a tutor.
Yeah, Amyus Crowe, an American visiting from the colonies. And Crowe's philosophy is, well, it's absolutely central to Sherlock's development.
What does he teach him?
Observation, above all. He tells Sherlock, information is the foundation of all rational thought. And famously, stock the lumber room of your mind with as many facts as you can fit in there.
There it is, the lumber room. That's the core of his method, starting right there, isn't it? Collect everything.
Precisely. Build that internal database. Don't dismiss anything as trivial.
And that principle gets tested almost immediately in a pretty dramatic way.
It does. Crowe and Sherlock actually stumble upon a second body out in the woods.
A second one, same as the first.
Covered in boils, yeah. Suggests plague again. And Sherlock sees that same odd cloud of smoke rising from this body, too.
But here's the crucial bit, right? Sherlock realizes something.
Yes, he recognizes the dead man. He'd seen him just that morning, driving cart, looking perfectly fine. But the body, it looks like he's been sick for days.
That discrepancy, healthy hours ago, looks days sick now. That screams something's wrong.
Exactly. It completely undermines the plague theory for Sherlock. But the local doctor, he panics.
Understandable, I suppose. Plague is terrifying.
Of course. He wants to cancel the fair, close the pubs, cordon off the town, the whole 9 yards.
But Crowe keeps a cooler head.
He does. He suggests consulting a specialist, first Professor Winchcombe in Guildford, who knows about tropical diseases. It's that clash, fear versus evidence-based thinking.
A lesson right there. Don't let panic override reason. Seek expertise.
So true. And while this is happening, Sherlock, sinking like Sherlock already, does something else.
He collects that yellow powder.
Yep, near the body, scoops some up, puts it in an envelope Mycroft sent him, and then he follows one of the men, Denny, from the first victim's house.
Where does Denny lead him?
To this strange, windowless warehouse. Sherlock observes things, heavy wheel ruts, suggesting carts leaving full.
And a smell.
Weird smell, yeah. Sweet, flowery, kind of hidden beneath the usual dirt and sweat smells. All these little details are going into the lumber room.
And inside the warehouse, he overhears something important.
Crucial. He hears Denny and another man, Clem, talking. They mention someone called Wint stealing stuff. Clothes, jackets, trousers.
Okay, theft.
But then they say Wint was attacked by bees, and that a baron ordered Wint's house and barn burned down to get rid of any evidence.
Bees. Okay, now that connects to Matty's cloud of death. And a cover-up. This is getting bigger.
Much bigger. It confirms a criminal operation and links it directly to the bees and the deaths.
So with this, Sherlock and Matty head off to see Professor Winchcombe in Guildford.
On their bikes, yeah.
Yeah.
They find the professor, small guy, red silk hat, expert on tropical diseases, spent time in China.
And the yellow powder Sherlock collected.
Winchcombe identifies it almost immediately. It's bee pollen.
Bee pollen. Not some poison or disease agent. That's unexpected.
Totally unexpected. But it's the key. Winchcombe explains something vital.
What's that?
He talks about Chinese beekeepers dealing with very aggressive Asian rock bees. Small, dark bees. And when they swarm...
Let me guess. They look like a cloud of smoke.
Exactly. He says they buzz around like a cloud of smoke. Sherlock's cloud of death wasn't smoke at all. It was a swarm of these highly aggressive dark bees.
Wow. Okay. That clicks everything into place.
And Winchcombe adds that the venom from these bees is particularly virulent. Nasty stuff. Explains the boils and the rapid apparent decline of the victims. It wasn't plague. It was envenomation on a massive scale.
So now Sherlock can piece it all together. The dead men worked for this Baron Maupertuis at his clothes factory.
Right. Wint steals clothes from the factory. The clothes must have had something on them that attracted the bees, maybe the pollen or something else.
And the bees attacked him. Then the Baron covers it up.
And the boxes leaving the warehouse, the ones making the heavy ruts, they contain uniforms being shipped out to army bases like Aldershot.
Oh, no. I see where this is going.
Sherlock's deduction is terrifying.
Yeah.
The Baron plans to distribute these contaminated uniforms to British soldiers.
And then release the bees.
Yes. Release thousands of these hyper-aggressive bees near the army bases. It would cause chaos, mass casualties, a huge blow against the British military, against the Empire itself.
That's monstrous. But why? What's the motive for something on that scale?
It turns out to be deeply personal, but also bigger than that. Maupertuis absolutely hates Britain because of his experience in the Crimean War.
The Turge of the Light Brigade.
He was in it, got terribly injured, describes himself as a jigsaw puzzle of broken bones afterwards. He blames British leadership, their stupidity in just following orders.
So it's revenge?
Partly. But he also reveals he's not acting alone. He's part of a group, German, French, American, Russian military figures, this Paradol chamber, they call it. Their goal is to basically knock Britain down a peg, curb its global power.
So it's personal hatred fueling this sort of international conspiracy. Wow, that really escalates things.
It adds this whole geopolitical dimension. It's not just one man's crazy plan.
Sure.
It's tied into these larger power struggles.
Okay, so Sherlock, Matty, and Crowe, and Crowe's daughter, Virginia, joins them too.
Yes, she proves to be quite insightful herself. They follow the Baron's trail, first London, then to his chateau over in France.
But things go wrong there.
They do. They get captured, drugged with laudanum and opioid, and dragged before the Baron himself.
And this is where they see him properly.
Yes. He's the man with the strange pink eyes Sherlock saw earlier. but he's physically shattered from his war wounds. He actually moves using this elaborate system of ropes and wires
Yeah.
like a human puppet.
Good grief. That's grotesque.
And he just gloats, lays out his entire bee attack plan, completely sure of himself, thinks he's already won.
But Sherlock, even drugged, he fights back. Intellectually, I mean.
He does. He picks holes in the plan. Says, what if it rains in England? That could wash the contaminant off the uniforms.
Good point.
And maybe soldiers won't wear the new uniforms right away. But his biggest argument is brilliant.
What is it?
He uses the Baron's own example, the Charge of the Light Brigade. He says that kind of British discipline means soldiers won't panic or mutiny because of disease or bee stings. They'll just ignore it and carry on.
Yeah.
He turns the Baron's rationale on its head.
Huh. Using their supposed stupidity as a strength. That's clever.
And then Virginia has this moment of defiance. She yanks back the curtains, exposing the Baron's whole setup, the wires, his physical vulnerability, really shatters his whole dramatic presentation.
Nice move. Breaks the tension, maybe. Allows for an escape.
Exactly. It leads to this chaotic escape. Sherlock and Virginia have to fight their way out using a chair leg, an old helmet, whatever they can find. Quick thinking under pressure.
And they realize where the bees are going to be released from.
Yeah, they figure out it has to be one of those old offshore forts in the English Channel, built during the Napoleonic Wars.
Ah, and Matty knows about those forts because his father was in the Navy.
Right. And Sherlock uses, as the text says, simple geometry. He deduces they need the fort closest to a major army base Aldershot, presumably. Minimizes the flight distance for the bees.
That's sharp. Combining Matty's practical knowledge with logical deduction about the Baron's likely strategy.
It really is. Classic Holmes, even at 14. So they race back to England.
Just Sherlock and Matty go to the fort.
Yes, they row out there. Inside, it's just as they feared, hundreds of beehives.
But how are the bees surviving out there with no flowers?
Sherlock spots it. Crays under the hives, they're being fed, stored pollen, kept on ice, collected from the bees' own legs earlier. It's incredibly meticulous.
Wow, the Baron thought of everything except...
Except Sherlock's mind is still working. He remembers something Matty told him earlier about a bakery fire.
And how flour dust in the air can explode.
Precisely. Fine particles suspended in air, huge surface area, add oxygen and a spark. It's called a dust explosion or deflagration.
And Sherlock thinks pollen might do the same thing.
He figures it's worth a shot. It's incredibly dangerous, but as Matty puts it, we're less important than the hundreds, maybe thousands of people who will die if we don't stop it.
So what do?
To confront the Baron's henchman, Mr. Surd, Sherlock grabs a tray of this stored pollen, uses it almost like a shield.
And then
he smashes it over Surd's head, creating this dense cloud of pollen dust in the air.
And they ignite it.
They do. The whole place goes up: the fort, the hives, the Baron's plan. They get knocked around, ears ringing, but they stop it.
Incredible. A very dramatic climax.
Absolutely. Pure improvisation based on connecting seemingly unrelated facts, bakery fires, and bee pollen.
So afterwards, Sherlock's reflecting on it all.
Yeah, he's bruised but triumphant. And he says something interesting about bees, calls them fascinating and sorely neglected creatures, wants to change people's opinions of them. Maybe the start of his later interest in beekeeping.
Could be. And Matty's reaction.
Matt is very practical. He just tells Sherlock, you need someone to look after you, otherwise your logical ideas are going to get you killed, which is probably pretty accurate for Sherlock's future.
A fair assessment. So looking back at this whole deep dive, what really stands out?
For me, it's how all these completely separate threads, Matty foraging, the army deployment reason, the pollen, the Crimean War history, even basic physics, how they all just converge in Sherlock's mind.
It really shows the power of collecting those facts, stocking that lumber room.
Absolutely. Meticulous collection, but then the critical step of connecting them, applying logic to reveal this huge hidden plot. It turns seemingly random details
to this.
Well, it underscores the power of really seeing what's around you, questioning assumptions like the plague diagnosis. And it shows how unexpected connections can emerge if you just gather enough information and think critically.
And it also leaves us with a bit of a lingering thought, doesn't it, with the Baron and this Paradol chamber.
Right. Even though this specific plot is foiled, those underlying forces, those hidden networks and grudges, they're still out there. It suggests the work of a mind like Sherlock's is never really done. There's always another puzzle, another threat simmering beneath the surface.
So maybe something for you to think about. Is there a seemingly random fact floating around in your life, maybe something you observed today, that if you connected it to something else, What hidden truth might it unlock? What new understanding could spark?
Worth mulling over.
Definitely. Until our next deep dive.